Hello, welcome to our class. So today we are going to go in deep in the about the trigonometrics. So by definition, somebody who has forgotten about what is a trigonometry. Trigonometry is a branch of mathematics which is concerned with relationship between sides and angle. So today we are going to see how to add in the trigonometry subtraction. So we have a half angle formula. We will have a formula for transforming a sum in a product. So I think we will see on those three things. So let's start by our subject here today. So let's see. Here we have cosine. Here we have x plus p. This will be equal to cosine x cosine p minus, if we are any cosine square bracket, this will affect this sign. So if you have a positive here, we will have a negative here, because when we are multiplying by the cosine, it affects the sign. So the sign will be changed. Here we have sine x sine p. So cosine, let's go to the subtraction, x minus p. This will be equal to cosine x cosine p positive sine x sine p. So let's make an addition here. Let's put a sign a positive. So what we will have here, we will have this will be equal to 2 cosine x cosine p, and this is also will be cancelled. So by negative, let's call it, this is equation 1. This is equation 1. So let's go cosine x plus a p. This will be equal to cosine x cosine p minus sine x sine p, and also you have a cosine x minus p will be equal to cosine x cosine p positive sine x sine p. So here let's put a negative here by subtraction. So we will have here, you see that it will be cancelled out. So here, if you have a negative, this is, we multiply this, the side positive will be 2, will be negative 2 sine x sine p. So by here, if we see that this is equation 2, this is equation 2. So let's simplify this. So cosine x plus p plus cosine x minus p. This will give us 2 cosine x cosine p. So here cosine x plus p plus p, negative cosine x cosine minus p. This will give us 2 sine negative. Here we will have a negative. We will have here we will have a negative. We will have a negative 2 sine x sine p. So let's go to the sign also. This is how our equation become. This is equation 1, this is equation 2. This is equation 1, this is equation 2. So let's go by side. Let's move to cos 2 sine. Here we have sine x positive p. Also this will be equal to sine x sine cosine p. If we multiply by the sign, if we have a sign here, we will maintain the sign between this positive will remain. It will not change. So here we have a positive cosine x sine p. So again, sine x minus p. This will be equal to sine x cosine p minus cosine x sine p. So here, if we make addition here, we will have 2 sine x cosine p, and also this will be cancelled. So let's go by subtraction. Here we have a sine x positive p. This will be equal to sine x cosine p positive cosine x sine p. Also sine x minus p. This will be equal to sine x cosine p minus cosine x sine p. If we make a subtraction here, this will be equal to, or if we make a subtraction here, this will be equal to 2 cosine x sine p. So let's write in short words, in simple manner to facilitate for easy understanding. So we have sine x plus p plus sine x minus p. This will be equal to 2 sine x cosine p, and also sine. This is equation 3. Please. This is equation 3. Here we have x negative p. This will be equal to sine x. This will be equal to Here we will have negative sine x negative p. This will be equal to 2 cosine. Here we have a 2 cosine x sine p. This is question 4. So I think that this is the simple manner to memorize or to understand how we can add or make a subtraction from this. So let's move. This you will see where we will use this product and sum when we are transforming a sum in a product. So This is very, very useful. We will see how we can apply those formulas, transforming sum in a product. We will see where we can use them. So let's keep moving. About a half formula angle. A half formula angle, we will first of all we have to know the fundamental equation which is cosine x square positive sine square x equal to 1. By this you see that if our cosine square x will be equal to 1 negative sine square x, and also sine square x will be equal to 1 minus cosine square x, or cosine, or 1 positive cosine square x. So I think that this is very important to keep in your mind, because this you will need to use this equation in our trigonometric equation. So where we will see how to use this our equation, how we will use this to facilitate easy solving some equation which we will be given to us. So this is fundamental equations. So let's go. Here we have a half angle formula, half angle formula, So here we have sine phi. If it's a half, it means that you divide by this angle over 2. This will be equal to 1 negative sine over 2. So if this is how we have it to use a half formula. So here we have also cosine theta, which is equal to 1 positive cosine theta over 2. So or 1 negative sine theta over 2. This is also very important. So we keep going. Here we have a tan theta. So this will be equal to a tan theta. You know this. I think a tan theta is equal to sine over cosine. It means that you have to take this and you divide this. So you may find the answer. I know. So it is very simple. So let's move by double angle formula. How to use a double angle formula from our trigonometric, from our fundamental equations. So here we may have cosine x. When it's a double, it means that we have this x and also we have another x. This x will be, let's say that if we have angle x and angle theta and angle n, if this x equal to n, it means that we have two angles. We will replace by this n by x. So here we will have an x again which will give us a form right which looks like this. We have a cosine x, cosine x again, negative sine x, sine x again. So it means that here we have cosine of 2x, which is equal to cosine square x minus sine square x. So we know this. It means that here cosine of the 2x, this is the first expression because the cosine has more than two expressions. So this is the first one. This is the first one. So let's see the second one. From our fundamental equation, we will refer from our fundamental equation. Let's see. Keep move forward. So cosine of 2x is equal to cosine square x. We know that from our fundamental equations. We know that 1 negative cosine square. So this replaces the value for the sign, and you think that is the same. So here we create the square brackets in order to separate it. So here we will have, this will be 1 negative, this will be negative, here will be positive, here we have 1, here we have 1, so here we have a positive, we have cosine square x, also positive, cosine square x. This gives us 1 negative 1 positive 2 cosine square x. This is the second expression. Let's see the third one. Cosine of the 2x, from the label angle, cosine of the 2x. Here also we will have, instead of here we know that cosine, here we know that cosine x minus sine square x. I think this is we know this. So, and also instead of writing this cosine square, we will write 1 negative sine square instead of writing this. So let's go. Here we have a cosine. Here we have 1 negative sine square x minus sine square x. What this means? If we multiply this, here we will have, let's make it very clear. Here we have sine square negative 1 negative 2 sine square x. So we will have, here we will have a negative, this will be equal to negative 1 positive. This is a sign because this multiply this will be a negative. If we multiply this will be a positive. This is, and this will be positive 2 sine square. So those are the three expressions which is equal to cosine, which is equal to cosine 2x. So I think this is very, very useful. We will see where we will apply this form. So let's go by transforming a sum in a product. Transforming a sum in a product. I think we have seen already. I think we have seen transforming sum in products. So transforming in a sum in a product. So here we may see that cosine x positive, cosine p. This will be equal to 2 cosine p plus 2 cosine x plus p over 2 cosine x minus p over 2. This is a formula 1. Let's go cosine x. I think you have seen it before. So in cosine x minus cos p. This will be equal to, according to the formula we have seen, we have seen that we will have a negative 2 sine p plus x over 2 times sine p minus x over 2. So this is what we have seen in the previous one lessons before we started this. I think this is very useful. So sine x plus sine p. This will be equal to 2 sine p plus x over 2. Again, here we have cosine p plus x. No, this is a negative x over 2. Here we have a sine x negative sine p. This will be equal to cosine, will be equal to 2 cos p plus x plus c over 2 sine p sine x minus p over 2 also. I think let's check it if it is written well. Here it is. Here we have x. Here we have x minus p. This is x minus p also, and also here this is x minus p, not p minus x. This is x. Here we have p. So this is 4 main formula which are used in transforming a sum in a product. This is the main one. So let's have an example and we close our class of today. So let's have an example. Before we close our class. Here we have sine. Here we have prove that sine 5x minus 2 sine 3x positive sine x over cosine 5x minus cosine x equal to cot x. So let's use our formula transforming a sum into a product. So the secrets which I'm gonna reveal for you here, if you have an equation like this, you have to check. If you take this and you add this, if you take this, you add this. If you divide by 2, you should have this number. If you are not seeing that, so I think that problem it is somehow not possible. So let's see, but let's go this into see how we can do. So if we take this x plus 5x, we divide by 2. So I think that we may have this. So it means that the equation is automatically possible to be proved. So let's go. Here we have sine 5x plus x over 2 cosine 5x minus x over 2 minus 2 minus sine 3x over cosine minus cosine 5x not. Here we will have negative 2 sine 5x positive x over 2 again sine 5x negative x over 2, which is equal to cot x. So here we keep move on. So we will have 2 sine 3x cosine 2x negative 2 sine 3 sine let's see sine 3x. So here over negative sine negative, here we have a 2, here we have a negative 2 sine 3x cosine 2x. So if equal to 40x. So let's see. Gone. Let's keep move on. So here we will make a factorize. That equation in order to simplify So we will have 2 sine 3x cos 2x negative 1 so negative 1, and also here we will have over negative 2 sine 3x sine 2x. So you see that if we will simplify, this, we will have this and this. So here we left with negative sign, we will be equal to, this will be equal to cosine 2x negative 1 over negative sine 2x. Here, this is a negative, this is a negative, this is a negative, we will go by this. Here we have 1. Let's see, it is like we have like this. So, and also you see that it is very simple. So, this will go with this. If this we will rest with, the rest cosine 2x over sine 2x, which is equal to cot x, which is our final. It means that the equation which we have given is automatically equal to cot x. So, if you are not yet subscribed, this is the time to subscribe, share, and like. So, in order to keep us progressive. So, I think that it is very, very beneficial. It is very useful for me to keep me progressive. I'm begging you, please subscribe, like, and share. So, see you in the next class where we will see inequalities in trigonometric equation. So, and I wish you to keep in touch. Have a good night. Have a good time. See you next class. Bye bye.